Hi everyone, my name is Lauren and I did my presentation on coaching, disciplining, and terminating staff. Introduction. One of the most important but challenging roles of a manager or a nursing coach is being familiar with all employees and their performance, providing timely and constructive feedback, and coaching the employees to succeed. Some people may be uncomfortable or nervous providing this constructive feedback, but an effective manager or coach will understand that learning and constructive feedback creates a change in behavior. A manager or coach should not only identify poor or unwanted behavior, but should provide constructive feedback while reinforcing those with good behavior with positive feedback. The fast-paced environment in the healthcare field with new employees can be difficult to manage at times, but learning opportunities need to be made in order to have a quality team providing quality care. I have a quote at the bottom of this slide that says, "We all need people who will give us feedback. That's how we improve." Here I have listed keys to successful feedback. The first is timely and ongoing. The second is goal referenced. The third is constructive and positive. The fourth is tangible and transparent. And the fifth is respectful, encourages reflection. Coaching. Coaching is a collaborative relationship between a coach and a willing individual that supports continual personal, professional, and career development through the acquisition of appropriate skills, actions, and abilities that are crucial to professional practice. Coaching is seen as a vital ingredient in the success of individuals and organizations. Coaching is seen to enable the highest form of learning with potential to increase productivity within organizations. For coaching to be effective, the nurse or learner must be ready, willing, and able. Ready. The nurse or learner needs to be psychologically able to accept coaching. Willing. The nurse or learner must be open to the process, interested in changing, and motivated to improve performance. The individual has to want to learn and improve. Able. The nurse or learner must be capable of changing performance. There are 3 types of coaching, and they include one-on-one coaching, which is individuals are supported in achieving specific goals related to their role. The second is group coaching, which is that usually occurs in sessions lasting 2 to 4 hours that are held intermittently. The coach then works with several people in the work setting, like nursing faculty, to achieve specific team goals. Group interests and issues are identified and are then discussed and addressed. The third is systems coaching. This type of coaching entails working with a system such as a family, government agency, or community group. The purpose of this type of coaching is to go beyond strategic planning to motivate, build morale, and prepare the team for change. Disciplining. Discipline calls the employee's attention to behavior that is not appropriate and must be corrected, and advises how to correct the behavior. The process of discipline is progressive and highly dictated by organization policies and procedures. The most important thing about discipline is knowing that it addresses behavior. The consistent delivery of discipline sets the tone for manager expectations about staff performance on the unit. Progressive discipline. Progressive discipline is a formal process of increasingly severe warnings for repeated violations that can lead to termination. This type of discipline moves in a stepwise fashion unless the infraction is too severe. An oral warning is usually the first step. When becoming a nurse manager or a leader, the individual has to learn how to address incompetent practice, unprofessional behaviors, and bad attitudes. Another important part of discipline is establishing accountability with the staff. Verbal warning. A verbal warning is given for unacceptable behavior that is repeated or serious behavior that occurs one time. An example of giving a verbal warning includes a manager warning their employee who has a pattern of calling in sick on the weekends. Written warning. A written warning is more serious than a verbal warning. For this to occur, patient care has most likely been jeopardized. The discipline of the written warning can sometimes be confusing, so it is best to discuss the plan of action with an experienced supervisor. Termination. Termination is a serious and difficult management responsibility with emotional, legal, and financial consequences. Termination is ultimately the process that ends employment and must follow the facility's policy. Termination without due process, with poor documentation, or outside of hospital policy can be fuel for an employee grievance or lawsuit. A big part of termination involves the preparation to do so. 5 tips when terminating someone include: 1. Reference one or more of the following, such as the Employee Handbook, Policy Procedures, Board of Nursing Requirement, and Specialty Standard of Practice. The second is identify in writing the specific behavior or incidents that you are referring to as to why you are terminating that individual. The third is collect any pertinent materials that support this decision, like incident reports, written complaints from peers or patients, time clock sheets, or error reports. The fourth is meet with a representative from Human Resources to review all the information prior to meeting with the nurse being terminated. The fifth is consider asking another manager or human resource staff member to sit in with you and explain to the individual getting terminated why they are there. Each facility varies in what it does during and after termination. In most cases, employee access to email and any internal web access is stopped during or immediately before the interview. ID badges and any hospital-sensitive entry cards or keys are collected. All personal items must be taken with the individual, and if the situation is serious enough, the terminating individual might need to be escorted out of the building. Whenever terminating an individual, it should be conducted firmly but with compassion as well. Documentation is also important, and any and all information should be documented in records regarding the termination process. Terminating an employee can obviously be stressful. When proper communication is followed with each step of the disciplinary process, the final step of termination should not come as a surprise to the employee, but it could come as a surprise to other staff members. As a professional manager or nursing individual, information about the termination should not be given out to others and should be kept privately. The individual should make sure they have appropriate documentation to support the decision as well as the support from administration. Here I just have an image that kind of focuses on coaching and how all other aspects can develop from it, like advice, training, help, education, management, stuff like that. And on this side, I included a link, and this website listed below is through the International Nurse Coach Association, and it kind of goes over how to become a nursing coach and kind of what their company all entails. Coaching, disciplining, and terminating staff members is a huge part of nursing, even if you are not a nurse manager. To develop skills in all 3 concepts, it takes time and experiences in which the individual can learn from. All 3 concepts can be hard at times, especially when it comes to disciplining and terminating staff members, but it has to be done. These concepts create a quality team that will ultimately allow each worker to coach one another and provide feedback when needed. And here are just my references.